Are you planning your first trip to Disney World, or has it been a while since you visited the parks? This video will help give tips and tricks for navigating Disney World, and I hope it will give you the best strategy for enjoying your day. I'm the Park Dad, and this is my guide for helping you survive Disney World. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. This is not the time to be a fly by the seat of your pants kind of vacationer. If that's your way or it's the highway, then by all means just dive in and wing it. But there is so much going on and so much to do that it makes a lot of sense to plan as much as you can before you go. And I assure you, I'm the worst for making plans and waiting to do things last minute, but I try and get as much planning in before we go down to see the mouse. But the whole reason I started this channel is because I watched a video of a guy that had a terrible time at Disney World, and in my opinion, if he had done a little research before he went, his day would have gone a lot better. This video primarily focuses on Disney World's Magic Kingdom park, but much of the advice I give will carry over to the other Disney parks. Not only that, some of my advice is good for any amusement park. This is the first of what I hope will be many videos about maximizing your fun in amusement parks, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to help my channel. First of all, it's a good idea to get your tickets before you go and reserve your space at the parks. If you're going during a common vacation time like spring break, the parks will be crowded, so the sooner you can book your trip, the better. Visit disneyworld.com and create an account so you can take care of your preliminaries. You can reserve a park visit on the website and book a resort there as well. You can reserve dining too, more about that later. You might as well download the Disney World app to your phone at this time and start getting used to it. Another special Disney feature are magic bands. These are interactive straps you wear on your wrist. These multitasking devices can be your ticket to the park, a shortcut to shopping, and even serve as your hotel key. There is a price for these, and some are more expensive than others. You don't necessarily need them because the Disney World app will serve the same function most of the time, but from my experience, they are handy. Opening my hotel room with my arms full was perfect. Another thing you'll want to do when you're on the park website is to get familiar with the pass options. For those of you planning your first trip, Disney offers a shortened line option called Lightning Lanes. With this option, you can purchase an additional package where you can choose certain rides at different times. The Disney website has tutorial videos on how to use, and there are 3 different options to pick. If you're going to the parks during a popular vacation time like spring break or 4th of July week, this may be a good option for you. Seriously, sometimes the popular rides have a 2-hour wait. Now, if you're just hitting the parks while kids are in school, it's not a bad idea to just save your money and wait in the shortened lines. There are lots of choices for where to stay around Disney World, and my goal is to help you decide where to stay. There are pros and cons with every decision, and your own preferences should dictate what you decide. Orlando has lots of bed and breakfast options, which can be attractive if you have a larger group on your trip or prefer a more private vacation. This might be a more budget-friendly option for a big family or a group of friends. A lot of the B&Bs close to Disney will even have themed bedrooms to help you feel close to the Disney bubble. The drawback to this, though, is you will have to arrange your own transportation to the parks, either by driving or using a taxi or rideshare. This is an additional expense and will add to the time it takes to get into the park. Unless you have an annual pass, you will have to pay a daily fee for parking at the parks. There are many hotels to choose from around Disney. Tourism is a huge industry for Orlando, and they get millions of visitors every year, so there'll be plenty of options to choose from. Some of you may want more luxury, others may feel that a hotel is just a place to drop after a 12-hour day at a park. I recommend doing your research, read the reviews, and do practice runs on a mapping app to see just how long it will take you to drive to the park. Some hotels offer free shuttle to parks, and not just to Disney. Check the schedule though. Sometimes it's only one time per day. Also, if you're planning to use your favorite rideshare, run a practice trip on the app at the approximate time you want to hit the park so you can get a rough idea of the cost. Remember though, with rideshares, if the demand is high, the cost will go up. The third option is to stay in a Disney-owned or partner hotel. There are around 20 different Disney resort options to choose from, and they can give you a variety of experiences. On the Disney World website, you can evaluate the hotels and see which one is more attractive to you. Some are very luxurious, others are slightly better than motels, but with a more attractive price. There are also some partner hotels not owned by Disney that will still give free transportation. If you're in a Disney hotel, you get free transportation to the parks and Disney Springs. The downside is Disney hotels tend to be more expensive than non-Disney hotels, and don't expect to get a free breakfast like many hotels provide. I personally prefer the Disney hotel option. I like that the buses will take me closer to the parks than other travel methods, and some of the hotels let you take the Skyliner or monorail to the parks. Believe me, that is a fun way to travel. A side benefit to staying at a Disney resort is that the buses run all day, so if you want to take a break from the park, you get a free ride back to your hotel. This is handy if you have children that still need a nap. There's nothing wrong with going back to the room to take a bonus shower and rest up during the hottest part of the day. The first buses tend to leave 45 minutes before the park opens, and the last buses run about an hour after the parks close, so plan accordingly. As I've mentioned, Disney hotels aren't cheap, and I recommend planning far ahead before your trip and getting those reservations in early. My first trip to Disney with my son was very last minute, and I had to stay in pretty expensive accommodations. Since then, I've tried hard to plan well in advance so I could stay wherever I wanted. Do you have a preferred place to stay at Disney World? Leave a comment and tell us where it is and why you like it. Always plan for the trip to the park itself to take far longer than you expect. Remember that thousands of other people are going too, and the early bird gets the worm. If you're staying in a Disney-owned hotel or partner hotel, you can take advantage of getting into the park a half hour earlier than the general public. This can really help you have a shorter wait time to ride that special ride that you just can't live without doing. As I've mentioned, I do recommend staying at a Disney-owned or partner hotel just because of the time savings and free transportation to the parks. And no, Disney doesn't sponsor this channel. I'm just a fan of the benefits you get from staying there. If you drive or ride share to the park, you still want to try to get there as early as possible, especially if you're going to the Magic Kingdom. You cannot just park and walk up to the gate. Walt wanted park attendees to feel completely removed from the real world, so there's lots of space between the Magic Kingdom and the parking lots. Getting to the park may feel stressful, but think how much less enjoyable the park would be if you could hear cars honking or alarms going off while you're trying to do that cruise through a jungle. If you don't ride a bus to the park, you'll have a choice of either taking a boat ride across the lake or going to the travel center to ride the monorail. Both of these will be a fun experience and start you off by doing something out of the ordinary. I can tell you that kids absolutely love the monorail, and a lot of big kids like it too. Just bear in mind that nothing is perfect. Sometimes the monorail has to undergo maintenance and you will have to ride the ferries. On the bright side, the ferries give you a wonderful view of the Magic Kingdom as you're arriving. Getting into the park is a little more challenging than you'd think as well. At this point in your day, you've already navigated getting to the park in one of the ways I've mentioned, only to find out there's a security checkpoint that everyone has to go through. This is another reason why I'm telling you to get to the park earlier than you would normally plan for. Now here is one of Park Dad's tricks to make this easier for you. If you're lugging a bag into the park, which I highly recommend doing for a day's trip to Disney, take everything metallic out of the bag before you enter the security checkpoint. Trust me on this. The bag check line usually takes 20 minutes to pass through, and they do a thorough job of making sure you're not carrying anything dangerous into the park. It's okay to hold those portable fans and chargers in your hands for a couple of minutes. My extra special piece of advice is to send the person with the bag through the checkpoint first, then count to 3 before anyone else goes behind them carrying the metallic objects. This may sound a little extreme, but the people behind you are eager to get into the park too, and they can walk in right on your heels. One visit, I did have a lady walk right behind me, and she got us both flagged into the bag check line even though I had no metal whatsoever on me, which I'll admit was frustrating. Security will be trying to get you to go as fast as you can through the line, but trust me on making the bag carriers go first and give them time to get clear. Everyone can wait 3 seconds so that you can save 20 minutes, right? You don't just have to get in line at the first scanning station you see. There will be lots of lines of people to get in, and it's really okay to walk down the lines and find a shorter line to enter. You're going to do a lot of walking at the park, so think of this as a warm-up. Go ahead and get your method of entry ready. This could either be a paper ticket, the Disney World app, or your Magic Band. Again, I personally prefer the Magic Band just because it's right there on your arm and ready to scan. The Disney World app is your best friend at the parks. You can look up wait times, show times, and even see what time characters will be appearing throughout the parks. There's also a feature to give directions on how to get to the next attraction you want to visit. Here's a Park Dad tip. Mapping apps will have highly detailed maps of the parks as well and can help you map out where you're trying to go. Sometimes I use both throughout the day, depending on my mood. Play with both until you get comfortable in the park. Another thing you want to consider is breaking in those new shoes before you come. You will be doing a lot of walking. Disney is a marathon, not a sprint, and runners have a maxim that they try to remember: nothing new on race day. This means stick to what's comfortable for you and make sure your feet like the shoes and socks you're going to be wearing. I've had blisters from a day at the park, and I'd love to spare you that addition to your vacation. One of my favorite tips I've heard is to bring a change of socks to change into halfway through the day. Walking around Florida will usually lead to sweating, and sweaty feet can cause blistering. Pack everyone a change of socks and bring a Ziploc bag to hold the dirties in your backpack. Another tip I've used is to bring multiple pairs of shoes on the vacation. If your shoes get damp or wet during one of those common Florida rain showers, it's great to have a backup pair for your next day at the park. On most of our trips, that's cut down on the blisters. Pack an umbrella or rain poncho because at certain times of the year it's likely to rain. And check the forecast before you leave for the park in the morning. I like to use the AccuWeather app. It's been very reliable for me. Disney will sell you the ponchos in the park when it rains, but it will cost a lot more than what you can pay in other places. I've ordered mine online and I've gotten 10 for $14. This is much cheaper than what you'll pay for in Disney. Having the poncho was great for the Kali River Rapids as well. Some people don't mind getting wet to cool off on a hot day, but it's not my cup of tea, especially with an expensive phone in my pocket. It will usually be hot and you're probably going to be walking a lot, so drink water. Florida heat is no joke, and when you're walking around, you will be using your body's fluids to cool off. Bring a water bottle, which you can refill at a water station or fountain. I recommend drinking plenty even if you don't feel thirsty yet. Most of Disney's restaurants will give you complimentary cups of ice water, even if it's a quick service. And take in the shows. I know you're thinking, you're there to ride as many rides as you can, and shows are for kids and old people, right? Well, odds are you have kids and older folks on your trip, and they really do like the shows. Also, after standing in 2 or 3 lines, your legs and back could use a break, and you'll enjoy the air conditioning at the least. We never go to the Magic Kingdom without watching Carousel of Progress, the the Enchanted Tiki Room, and PhilharMagic. A good friend of mine watched PhilharMagic just to get out of a hard rain. He and his wife loved it so much they now never go to the Magic Kingdom without watching it. Disney knows that you want to have a good time, and they make the shows as entertaining as they can. Another show in Tomorrowland is Monsters, Inc. Laugh. If you have kids, you will want to take them to this one, and you might even get to be part of the show. This one is entertaining, and you'll never see the same show twice. Walt Disney's whole idea was for you to take a break from reality and feel like you're in a whole new world. Let the magic take over and don't just stare at your phone all day. Try to remember that you can't do everything. You're going to miss things. It's literally impossible to do everything at Walt Disney World in 1 week, so don't wipe yourself out trying to fit it all in. Everyone needs to list out in advance what your priorities are and come up with a strategy to hit your high points. Remember too that certain things you weren't expecting to like might turn out to be your favorite part of the park. Plan your meals well in advance. Many of the sit-down restaurants require a reservation, which you can book up to 60 days before your trip. The character dining experiences go faster than other options, and I've seen the restaurant in Cinderella's Castle book up within 5 minutes on the day it becomes available. If you're planning to go the quick service route, you can order your food on the Disney mobile app. I mean, what's a day at the park without a hot dog or a turkey leg? My park dad tip for that is order the food while you're waiting in line for an attraction. Even if you're using the pass option to use the lightning lane, there will be plenty of times that you're waiting in a line. Go ahead and load up your order while you're waiting, then a couple minutes before you get to the restaurant, click the button that says you're there. By the time you arrive, your food will be waiting for you. I also use this option on the bus ride back to the resort if I'm buying supper at the hotel. At that point in your day, your energy will be mostly spent, and standing around waiting for food is the last thing you want to do. Also, you can bring food and drinks into the park to save money. Exceptions include alcohol and food that has to be cooked or refrigerated, and things in glass containers. Keep in mind when you're planning that you could be walking around in 80 to 90 degree weather, and some foods will melt in that heat, especially if you have a dark colored bag. I like to take granola bars, applesauce packets, and chips. They do well in the heat and make a good snack break. You can get an alcoholic drink or a mocktail at one of the sit-down restaurants. Just remember that you're going to be paying resort prices. Do you have a favorite amusement park hack? Drop a comment and tell us what it is. There are lots of places to buy souvenirs at Disney World. Let's face it, Disney wants you to take home a piece of the magic. Most of the rides end in a gift shop. Plus, Main Street is mostly shopping and restaurants. My recommendation for this is to put off that purchase until the end of the day. They will be happy to hold an item for you so that you don't have to carry it around with you, but then you'll have to still go back for your special something. Also, don't be afraid to look online for the same or similar item. You can save a lot of money this way and not have to worry about traveling with your precious souvenir. It will still remind you of your trip, even if you didn't get it at the park. Waiting is also a good way for putting off spontaneous purchases. In the moment, things look really cute and funny, but the next day you could have buyer's remorse. So put it back and do something else. If you keep thinking about that gift or t-shirt, then by all means go back and get it. There have been plenty of times when my son wanted a toy right after we finished a ride, but an hour later he's completely forgotten about it. Remember that you're there for a once-in-a-lifetime experience and try to get lost in a whole new world. Make sure to look up from your phone and take in how amazing the parks are. Don't feel like you need to do everything or rush to the next thing. You're on vacation. Enjoy yourself. The parks are beautiful. That's all I wanted to cover for this video. Thank you so much for hanging with me until the end. Future videos will detail my favorite parts of the parks, and I'll give reviews of different Disney resorts. Do you have a favorite trick to make Disney easier? Do us all a favor and share it in the comments. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Park Dad videos. Until next time, go have a new adventure.